Rose Island Lighthouse, Rhode Island, June 1880.
"I'm warning you, girl,"
Zeke Crawford called from his dory.
"You and your crazy grandpa can leave the island nice-like, or I'll run you off."
Abbie Watson shielded her eyes against the bright morning sun and glared at Zeke across the glittering water. "We're not leaving. I told you last time you came out here that Gramps has no intention of retiring from his position. Not now, not any time soon."
"He ain't fit to be a keeper no more, and you know it."
Zeke's voice bellowed over the gentle lapping of the low tide. He was a man as big and gruff as his voice, causing his boat to sink lower under his weight. As if his size weren't enough, his black beard and dark bushy eyebrows made him look even meaner and surlier. His 2 boys sat at the oars, their faces as sunburned and red as the lobsters they trapped. Abbie figured they weren't older than 10 years, but they rowed with an expertise that said they'd been born and bred in these waters, just like she'd been. "We're taking care of the light just fine," she called, with a glance toward the 35-foot octagonal tower that rose from the side of the keeper's dwelling. Set on the surviving bastion of old Fort Hamilton, the light was actually 48 feet above the water. A mile from Jamestown to the west and Newport to the east, Rose Island Lighthouse was in a strategic location to guide passenger steamers, fishing boats, and freighters through the east passage of the bay, especially through the dangerous shoals to the north.
"It's my turn to take over,"
Zeke said.
"Jose's been there long enough."
"Gramps loves this place. It would kill him to leave." Gramps had been the keeper at Rose Island Lighthouse since it was built over 10 years ago. "Besides, you're doing fine where you're at, so leave us be." Zeke was the keeper over at Rhode Island Lighthouse, at the entrance to Newport Harbor. It was an easy assignment compared to some of the more isolated lighthouses like Rose Island. Zeke didn't have nearly as many rescues or receive the battering from storms. Sure, Zeke Crawford was known for moving. He'd been keeper at more lighthouses around Narragansett Bay than a crab had legs. Even so, Abbie couldn't understand why he was so determined to take over the Rose Island Light. Surely there were other lighthouses he could choose. She leaned against her clam rake, the long claw-like tines sinking into the sand. Due to the rising tide, the water was tickling her ankles and burying her toes with sand, the sign that her clamming for the day was over. Her bucket was almost full anyway, enough to warrant a trip to Newport. She'd keep a few clams for clam dumpling soup, Gramps' favorite, but sell the rest.
"Jose has lost his mind," Zeke hollered, "and it's only a matter of time before he burns the light to the ground."
"We keep our eye on him." Her voice rang with a confidence that belied the unsettled waver in her gut. Zeke was awakening the nightmares she wasn't ready to face, visions of Gramps harming not only the light, but himself.
"We?" Zeke chortled. "You mean you and that no-good husband of yours that hasn't shown his face in months?"
"He'll be back soon." She had lost count of the times she had used that line. The truth was, Nate was dead. Even though no one had been able to identify the decomposed body the fishermen had found on the shore down by Brenton Point after the spring thaw, she had heard enough to know it was Nate. How many other men had a pocket watch with the words "Too Crabby" engraved on the back? Nate's brother Ross had given him the pocket watch, and he'd treasured it dearly, especially after Ross died. When she'd heard about the watch on the dead man, she'd known without a doubt the body was Nate's. But she hadn't told anyone. If the local lighthouse superintendent, or Zeke, realized Nate wasn't returning, she'd lose all her leverage for staying on the island. With Gramps' increasing senility, Nate had been appointed as acting keeper. Without her husband's status, she had no official title or claim to the lighthouse.